Last summer, I worked in Yellowstone National Park through a concession company called Centera. Going from a place as populous as Chicago and its surrounding suburbs to a place where you are essentially stranded in the wilderness with 400 other people to keep Canyon Village functioning is quite a culture shock. Yellowstone is important because it was the world's first national park and created the idea that numerous countries copied. It is also important because it is the largest remaining ecosystem in the Northern Hemisphere. It is essential to preservation, and the people of the area have strong cultural ties to the land. Yellowstone is important to me because I have a strong connection to it. I worked and lived there for a summer. It is not just a place, but it represents a symbol of the future and past colliding. Friendships are formed and memories are created. The people who enter it are not the same when they leave. Everything changes. The origins of Yellowstone are from the Yellowstone hotspot first forming millions of years ago, but moving to where Yellowstone is only 600,000 years ago. The hotspot pushed magma toward the Earth's surface, which caused the crust to jut upward. Part of Yellowstone is on a caldera, and that is attributed to creating the Yellowstone hotspot that is responsible for the unique geography of the park. The caldera formed over 3 super eruptions, ranging from the Huckleberry Ridge eruption 2.1 million years ago to the most recent eruption, Lava Creek eruption, which is 630,000 years ago. Parts of the Yellowstone caldera were arising up to 7 centimeters per year. Native American tribes in that area knew it existed for thousands of years. During the Lewis and Clark expedition, the tribes they talked to have been hidden from them. The expedition never stepped foot in the park, although they were extremely close by. John Coulter left the expedition in 1806 to join a group of fur trappers. And after he left that group, he passed through the park in the winter of 1807 to 1808. He described it as a land filled with fire and brimstone. His stories were so fantastic, most people didn't believe him and passed it off as delirium. The land received the nickname of Coulter's Hell. Yellowstone was declared a national park on March 1, 1872, by President Ulysses S. Grant, after a series of expeditions led by Ferdinand V. Hayden in 1871. A report featuring photographs by William Henry Jackson and paintings by Thomas Brand convinced Congress to withdraw the land from public auction. Even today, there is public outcry when land is set aside for conservation preservation. Detractors of the park claimed that the local economy would be unable to continue to thrive because it reduced the mining, hunting, and logging activities that occurred in the park. Despite the creation of the park, the first superintendent, Nathaniel Langford, was denied a salary, staff, and funding. Langford could not improve to protect the land without assistance. Yellowstone was vulnerable to poachers during this time. The military finally took over in 1886 at Mammoth Hot Springs, where they created Fort Yellowstone due to the mounting problems of poaching. They remained until the National Park Service was created in 1916. People who committed crimes in the national parks could actually be prosecuted due to the changes made from the military intervening. From 300 visitors in 1872 to 5,000 in 1883 to over 4 million in 2016, Yellowstone has become a must-see location to visit from all over the world. Wildlife protection and management, protection of the natural features, and educational programs are all created by the military, are all now reasons to visit the park. Italy, Taiwan, Czech Republic, people from all over the world come to work in Yellowstone for the summer season. They receive housing, internet access through an employee dining room. Although there is only one TV in the employee pub and lack of stable Wi-Fi, the employees are able to experience something most get to see for only a few days. Canyon Village is centered on the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. The canyon formed after the most recent caldera eruption. The eruption caused volcanic tuff and lava flow to bury the area, but hydrothermal gases weakened the rock to carve the canyon. The upper and lower falls are part of the river, and the lower falls, the biggest waterfall in Yellowstone, at 308 feet. Old Faithful was the first geyser to be named in Yellowstone. In the early days, explorers washed their clothes in the geysers around the park. But the intervals are getting longer for Old Faithful. Originally 66 minutes in the 1960s to about 90 minutes currently, but people still travel all over the world to see it erupt. Mammoth Hot Springs lie north of the caldera and close to the north entrance to the park. Scientists believe that the heat from the hot springs is derived from the volcano's magma chamber, like other thermal areas. The reason why the dry springs are so white is because limestone underlies the area. The colors in the hot springs are derived from thermophiles. Until the 1990s, little information was known about Yellowstone Lake. In 1996, large spire-like structures were found at the bottom of the lake. After testing by the U.S. Geological Survey, it was revealed that they were formed about 11,000 years ago, after the last glaciers retreated. These spires are essential to understanding the aquatic ecosystem of Yellowstone. In the late 1800s, with westward expansion bringing settlers into the area, wolves were eliminated because they were seen as undesirable. 31 gray wolves were reintroduced in 1995. Wolves are currently delisted from the endangered species list in Montana and Idaho, but not Wyoming. The delisted wolf populations will be monitored for a minimum of 5 years to ensure that they maintain their recovery. Are we loving our national parks to death? Humans have caused numerous negative effects simply by being present. Animals are vulnerable through disease, trash is often not disposed of properly. The simple act of driving can even affect their quality in Yellowstone. Emissions can affect the health of the wildlife and create smog. The future of Yellowstone, like all national parks, is uncertain. From the moment we have entered the park centuries ago, we have altered the park's history. Climate change, land use, and invasive species can alter the land drastically within the park. For the immediate future, there is little evidence of change for any deviations of the greater Yellowstone ecosystem. Yellowstone will continue to thrive, but we should still try to protect and preserve the environment to allow Yellowstone to remain intact for as many years as possible.